Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. Boxing, you find a way to win, you find a way to lose. Hey, listen. First, please subscribe to the channel. You know, what the F is going on out here? So, it seems that Pacquiao and Gervonta Tank Davis, like there really are discussions taking place to make this fight at 144, 145. Come on, man. Now, I know Pacquiao, he said a lot of things while he was over in Saudi Arabia. He talked about fighting Mayweather in an exhibition. Something's supposed to take place in Japan. He talked about wanting to fight Gervonta Davis, saying he's still basically an active boxer. The whole thing about the Olympics, he says he still wants to do that, but that got shot down already. But I'm going to tell you this, right? I don't think anyone should get mad at Gervonta Tank Davis if this fight actually comes to fruition, right? I don't think we can get mad at Gervonta Tank Davis because we know with Gervonta Tank Davis and his team, they're all about the dollar bill, y'all. And I'm going to tell you right now, Pacquiao and Tank is a fight that would generate serious pay-per-view sales. Now, for those of you who are saying there's no way in the world Manny Pacquiao beats Tank, well, I gotta say this. I tend to. I'm of the belief that Tank would just clip Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is just too old. However, I wouldn't put my money on that because they're not fighting at 135. They're not fighting at 140. It's 144, 145 pounds. So that means Tank now, which I don't think would be a problem, has to bubble up, 9 pounds above where he's used to fighting. Now, we talk about, Jermell Charlo jumping up a couple weight divisions and Amir Khan jumping up a couple weight divisions to take fights. And, and we kind of saw what happened with those guys. And people say there's weight divisions for a reason, right? So when it comes to Tank Davis, does that not apply to him? The thing is, Tank reportedly has light heavyweight power. Some say heavyweight power. Excuse me. You get some people out here saying that Tank Davis is knocking out heavyweight. So, I mean, at some point, I think people need to stop taking it to the stupid. But if you can hit, you can hit. And I'll say that. But let's just really take a look at this. Why would Tank Davis chase after a Pacquiao fight and not Shakur Stevenson and not some of the other killers there at 135? We know Tank said he's going to return big. He's going to return to a big fight in 2024. People just have to wait and see. They'll be shocked at who it is. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Manny Pacquiao. Because Pacquiao was out there just talking, wasn't he? Pacquiao, somebody need to teach that man. You hear me say it a lot in this channel. To listen a whole lot and talk very little. Pacquiao was out there just spilling all the beans. Pacquiao can't keep his damn mouth closed. So even if it was just something in passing, like, hey man, we should fight, Pacquiao, it seemed like he's taking everything serious now. Now, for those of you who are saying, but why would Pacquiao fight Tank? With all the greatness that he's accomplished, why would he sit here and fight too long against killers, kind of like Roy Jones? Well, because he's kind of in a situation like Roy Jones. Not as bad. Roy Jones made a lot of bad investments. Roy Jones lost a lot of money. A lot of money. So he had to keep fighting. Roy Jones had a lot of debt. There's articles out there. I read about 20 of them. I've done videos on it. That's why Roy Jones continued fighting. That's also why he went over to Russia to fight, because there was an agreement where they would pay off all his debt. But he had to come over there, become a citizen, and help the Russian amateur boxing program. And that's what he did. And if you notice, Roy Jones was speaking very positively about Russia too. A little propaganda going on. A little kind of like POW action. You want your release, you got to say these things. And although Roy Jones didn't, quite go that far, it's for me, it should be very close because you're using you as a pawn now. But I get it. Everybody's got to do what they got to do, especially when you have millions of dollars in debt. So when you look at Pacquiao, he just got hit with some huge lawsuit, and he lost against something with McGregor and something McGregor's management company, something like that. Anyway, bottom line is Pacquiao had signed with him, then chose to go over to Al Heyman and fight, and just did some bad business, and ended up having to pay back, I don't know, 5 to 8 million, 9, 10 million, something crazy. But some millions, right? So that could be why Pacquiao's still out here hanging around for taking fights. Because he's like, I got to pay this back. We know Pacquiao helps a lot of people. No doubt, I believe Pacquiao should have, multiples of millions of dollars. Especially when you look at the kind of money he made across his career. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Manny Pacquiao needed to keep fighting. You've seen it happen with a lot of fighters. Evander. Everybody knows about Mike Tyson, but there's a lot of boxers who make a bunch of money, and somehow they just mismanage it. I think Pacquiao helped a lot of people. I'm not sure he mismanaged anything, but I just think to come at the end of your career and want to retire, then have to pay, 5, 8, 10 million to somebody. That's a serious blow, man. And so while he still can, he should come out here and make big fights because people would tune in to watch him. You know who else people would tune in to watch if he decided to come back and take a serious fight? Oscar De La Hoya. If Oscar De La Hoya came back to fight, Oscar De La Hoya would probably make $100 million. I'm serious. The whole world would tune in. But he can't do it because he wouldn't pass them drug tests. Ain't no telling what they find in his system. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all something. Richard Pryor. This is getting off topic. But Richard Pryor used to date Pam Grier. And she ended up where she wasn't able to have kids. I forgot the term that they used. I read it yesterday. But they said they asked her about, Richard Pryor and if she was, giving him oral sex and if he was dipping himself in cocaine, like putting his penis in cocaine. And she was like, they were asking her if her mouth gets numb when she's doing that act. And she was like, yes, it does. And they were like, okay. And they were like, if your mouth's getting numb, that's because he's putting basically cocaine, on his penis. And then they asked her about having sex, something along the lines of if she ever seen him do that. And she was like, no. And they told her, as far as in her, when they looked inside of her, they saw a lot of buildup from cocaine. And they were asking her, hey, you wouldn't just get this kind of residue inside of you. And basically it was the cocaine and the residue from the cocaine that messed up her insides to where she wasn't able to have kids. So Richard Pryor was, dipping himself in cocaine and having sex with her. She didn't know that. But it comes back to what I was saying, is you just don't know what you're going to find in Oscar De La Hoya's system and what kind of freaky and crazy crap he was doing. Because De La Hoya knows he can easily come back. If De La Hoya was to take 10 fights, I think De La Hoya could easily make $100 million a fight and become a billionaire within 2 years, just off of coming back and fighting. But I just think it'd be too tough for him to do it. People still talk about his struggles with drugs and stuff like that. I hope he's clean. I hope he's doing all right. But, not my business, but it does seem like there's more going on with him than not. But that being said, these fighters who are still fighting, these guys who want to do it but can't, who are we to tell them they shouldn't? But for Tank Davis, Mayweather, Ellerbe, Al Heyman, we know that Tank's team, they don't care about belts. They're all about money. Now, what bigger fight for Tank than to come and fight Pacquiao, especially if they can do that fight in Saudi. But it makes you wonder, we talk about it every now and then, why the hell isn't Al Heyman having his guys go fight in Saudi? Floyd Mayweather will fight in Saudi. Floyd Mayweather will fight in Dubai. Floyd Mayweather fighting in Tokyo. Floyd fighting all over the world in Asia. Why not let Tank go out there and make that money? I don't know. But that being said, hey, WTF, man, Pacquiao versus Tank is really being discussed, and let's see what direction things go. I would not be surprised if Tank took it, and if Tank goes out there and makes 50, 60 million, people are going to be sour. But you know what? I agree with what Mayweather said, is if you go to the bank and you need to take money out, those belts mean nothing. It's all about getting your prize as a prize fighter as much as you can while you can still do it. So do your thing, Tank. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. I'm going to the gym in the breeze.